Hey guys, what's up? It's Coach Kev. Today I got another quick 30-minute, 30 exercise sequence, all based on two important movements. Sometimes it's no movement, but the plank and the side plank are the foundation of many different movements, of which we're going to cover a lot today. 28 others out of those two. But first, let's review the side plank and the forward plank. I think they're super important to master first and foremost before progressing to these other variations. So let's go with the forward plank first. A couple things to keep in mind. Alignment number one, I'm going to look for my shoulders over my elbows. Number two, when I do get set up, I'm going to get my feet all the way through my shoulders in line. Okay? If you see a shake, that's okay. What you want to avoid is that sway. Okay? So try to hold here, shoulder blades down, chin tucked, and you're going to hold. Okay? For a predetermined amount of time. Again, when you hold, it's not necessarily how long, but it's how much tension you can generate in your core. If you're holding it for 60 seconds but don't feel it in your abs, you're kind of missing the point. If you hold it for 30 seconds and you're feeling your core shaking and working, then you're doing it right. Okay, side plank. I'm going to show you from the start first, from the side. Okay, so setting up here similar to the forward plank, elbow underneath the shoulder. Okay, hips stacked, shoulders stacked, knees and feet stacked. Okay, holding in that position. All right, let me show you from the side, from the front. Okay, make sure you're in a straight line, eyes forward, and there we go. Okay, and then obviously doing it on both sides. Okay, that's the basis of the rest of these, and I know they're not easy, forward planks and side planks. Side planks definitely require stability. If you're having trouble with them, feel free to elevate your hands, either on the forward plank or on the side plank. Both are very worthy options, of which you should devote some attention to in order to learn that floor version. Okay, Amber, what's next? Plank with a push-up. Oh, push-up plank. So, push-up plank, very similar to the forward plank. All you're doing here is your arms are extended. So from here, hold, hips are tucked. I'll show you from the side. Hips are tucked, right there. Okay? So, again, from a movement standpoint, there isn't any, but that's the point. And if you're having some issues with your planks, if your shoulders are getting fatigued soon, then try the push-up plank. It's a nice alternative to help you develop that shoulder endurance during the plank. Okay? Next. Sorry? Arm extended. Okay? So, arm extended side plank. Real simple. You're going to put that arm down. Same concept. Okay? Stack the shoulders, stack the hips, knees and feet. Okay? Make sure your head's in neutral. If you want, you can extend both arms. Okay? That's the arm extended side plank. From the side, just in case. Some people don't feel this as much. Some people feel it a lot. Really depends. I feel a side plank with my arm on the ground more so.
With a hip drop.
Side plank with a hip drop? Okay. That's number 5?
No. Up and down.
Oh, up and down plank. Okay. So an up and down plank is basically where you're going to start in a regular plank. Push up, back down. Switch, up, back down. Up, back down. Up, back down. Okay? That's an up-down plank. And what you're trying to do, minimize range of motion, motion side to side, and keep as stable as possible between the shoulders and the feet. Okay? That's an up-down plank. Then, side plank with a hip drop. Okay? What you're going to do here, hold, okay? Drop your hips to the floor, right back up. What you want to avoid is kind of pooching those hips backwards and doing that drop. I'm going to guarantee you, you're not going to feel it nearly as much as when you go straight down to the side. Okay? Love that version. Side plank with a hip drop.
Forward plank with hip extension.
I couldn't hear you over the dog.
Forward plank with hip extension.
Forward plank with a hip extension. Okay, so forward plank here. And all you're going to do, extend your hip. Make sure you squeeze though. Switching. Okay, it gets pretty hard. It's going to try to challenge you to lose your tilt. Okay? Forward plank, hip extension.
Side plank, knee to elbow.
Ooh, okay. So side plank, knee to elbow. This is a precursor to another one coming later on. What you're going to do here, okay, hand behind your head, you're going to bring the top knee and top elbow together. So here, again, similar to the side plank with the hip drop, you're going to try to keep that left foot, knee, hip, and shoulder all in a straight line, not letting the hips drop down or back. Okay? Love that exercise. Side plank, knee to elbow.
A forward plank with rock.
Ooh, rocking forward plank. Okay? If you followed us yesterday, we covered an exercise called the body saw. This is technically the precursor to the body saw because what you're doing is learning how to stay stable during movement. So super important to learn this. And I'm going to lock myself into that forward plank and then using my feet kind of move myself forward and back. Usually for people, this gets them to learn that the hips sinking is not what you want because if your hips sink, you can't really go forward. And when you lock in, you really start to feel that shake, especially when you go forward. So I like that rocking plank as an option, and I think it's a good option for anyone looking to transition from the regular plank to the body saw.
A side plank, arm extended, top elbow to bottom knee.
Ah, this is what I was talking about. So I'm going to take a second because this is challenging. So arm extended, side plank. Okay, I'm going to go top hand to bottom knee. Okay, here. I think it's actually there. You'll notice my foot is flat. Can you zoom in on that or not? Or just look at it. Okay, it's much easier than being on the edge of your foot. Okay, that offers a little bit more stability as well. Okay, so a side plank, that's a top hand to bottom elbow. Knee, sorry.
Spider-Man forward plank.
Spider-Man forward plank. All right. So what you're going to do here, regular forward plank, bringing your knee up outside your elbow. Like so, okay? Again, with the motion here being from the knee and the foot and the hip only on that side, making sure not to switch or not to drop your hips out on the opposite side.
Side plank with a row.
All right, side plank with the row. Look at that, we're all set up. Okay, side plank with a row. If you have these type of bands, these work great. You can also use adjustable cable. You can also use mini bands, your choice. Okay, what I'm going to do, set up perpendicular to the origin here. Okay, from this position, I'm going to get in a solid side plank. Hold that. Key here, maintain your integrity with the row. And with the side plank, okay? Not letting either exercise interfere with each other. I find a lot of times when people combine exercises, guess what happens? One of the exercises they're supposed to be doing doesn't look like it should, okay?
Forward plank with feet on wall.
Ooh, all right.
This is number 13.
Okay, so, yep, what we're going to do, I'll use this, Amber. I'm going to push right here, okay? So with the feet on the wall, you're going to have to push into the wall and into the ground. This is a much higher degree of stiffness than you're normally used to, okay? So I'm going to push here and hold. So you're really going to have to lock in that rib cage and that pelvis. I got to sink a little bit. That's better. Okay? And then make sure, again, your feet are on a solid wall, please.
Plank with back pocket.
Oh, side plank hip pocket. So side plank hip pocket, just a little degree of rotation here. Okay, very similar to this side plank hip drop, except you're going to stay a little bit more stable. So from here, your hip's staying at the same height, but your right shoulder's turning, and then back up. So reach down like you're touching your hip pocket, back up. So basically the movement's happening from my upper right, definitely not my lower left, and definitely not really anything else. So your left foot, knee, hip staying pretty stable. And that's where the difficulty lies. Left side of my body is being stable, the right side is being mobile. So somewhat challenging. Because you have to really learn how to generate resistance against the band. So you're bringing that rib cage down, thinking about bringing that rib cage down and keeping tension there. Where sometimes it's thinking about gravity pulling you down. This one's a little different. Okay? What you're going to do, 2 handles works good. Regular band without handles is fine too. Just make sure it's affixed to a solid position. From here, okay, your feet are going to be back. You're going to lock your pelvis down. Hold. Elongate your breath. Like so. And that's it. Okay? 30 seconds is going to be plenty of that. And yeah, love the band resisted forward plank.
A weighted side plank.
Weighted side plank. Excellent. So with a weighted side plank, just make sure that if it's iron, meaning like a weight plate, etc., just put it on a soft side, maybe a towel, something like that. I'm going to use a sandbag. Okay? Best to get it set up before you get up. So start in the side position, load it on the hip. Might have to balance it a little bit. Okay? Coming up, hold, and hold. Okay? So maintaining that position. Again, this is gravity plus this is a 20-pound sandbag. Okay? Maintaining that position. So left shoulder, left hip, left knee, left ankle, all in that straight line. Okay? There's the weighted side plank.
Forward plank LP.
Forward plank lat pull down. All right, so very similar to before, except now we're going to challenge the forward plank and a vertical motion above the head. So we're going to crawl back here. Okay, from this position, reach forward. Trying to stay as square as possible. Like so. Okay? Another tough exercise, but if you're ready for progressing your planks, I like that one. Okay?
We have a rotational side plank.
Rotational side plank. For this one, I'm going to face you. It's better to see it that way. It's kind of a misnomer. It's kind of a forward plank with rotation. But I think because of where you end up, that's where it's more of a rotational side plank. Okay. So from here, I'm going to be here, turn. Now, if you're feeling like you need to move more from your hips, you can turn your feet. Some people, though, won't need it. They can just turn here. Okay? Both are a little different. If you need to pivot from the feet, no problem. Just another variation. Maybe you need more mobility from the hips, but great to introduce and to learn that motion.
Forward plank with weight transfer.
Forward plank with weight transfer. This one I did not get set up. Nope. This one's fun. I'll show you from the front. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to hold the forward plank. My right hand is going to move weight in this whole weight stack over here. So, it's one. I'll show you guys two. Your neighbors might like this, probably not in our case. All right, there's the forward plank with that weight transfer. You can also use 2.5s. Really just depends on what your gym has. You can also use something lighter. If they have small dumbbells, etc., you can line them up and then just move them from side to side. It doesn't have to be 5-pound plates.
A side plank leg forward with bands.
Side plank, leg forward with band. Side plank, leg forward.
You initially hit hip extension.
It's abduction. There. So, side plank, You're gonna bring one foot in front, okay? Hold here, reach, touch, reach behind, touch, touch, touch. Like so. Okay, from the side, or top I should say, it looks like this. Okay? Love that, love that, love that.
A push-up plank with reach and turn.
Push-up plank. Ooh. So this is similar to the side plank and rotation. Only difference in this one is that you're from a push-up plank. So you got a little less stability because you're going to be on one hand. So from here, what I'm going to do, lock myself down in this push-up plank. I'm going to reach under and then up to the ceiling without turning my left side. Switch. Reach under, turn. Again, as little movement from the downside as possible. Introducing stability and mobility. So one side, being stable, other side, not so much. Starfish side plank. Okay, kind of what we did before. This time though, it looks like a starfish. So what you're going to do, arm extended, feet start stacked, hand up, foot out. Okay, just make sure it's not here. That's not really the challenge. Get that foot up, hold it, squeeze the down leg tight. Okay?
A push-up plank with the leg crossing under and out.
Ah, good. So this one's a great one for anyone that has to do with what I call disassociation. Disassociation refers to basically separating one part of the body while you're staying steady on another. Mobility, stability. This concept comes up frequently, especially in planks. So for golfers and tennis players, this couldn't be more important. What I'm going to do, I'll start on the right side, okay? My right side is going to go under and then out to the side. So there's my right leg. And I'm going to keep my leg mostly straight, okay? So from this position, locking down, reach under, back to the middle, back out to the side. Turn, you see I'm a little locked up going across. Better, out to the side. I'll switch, under, ooh, different under. Under. Okay, so again, really challenging, but the shoulders don't move. So the concept is dissociation, locking down your shoulders. No movement there, and moving your hips. Really weird for a lot of people to do.
Feet elevated side plank.
Feet elevated side plank. Let's do them somewhat. Yeah, I'll do them over here. You don't want to be too high. This might be too high. But the concept here, with the elevation, you have a lot more weight that you're supporting. Actually, that's pretty good. My feet are a little high, but from here, holding, okay? Again, you got a lot more weight, right? It's not down on the ground. So holding here, locking down, squeezing forward, breathing normal. You want to show it from there? Just so you can see the elevation. All right? Okay. Basically.
TRX hand plank.
Oh, good. Okay. So with the TRX planks, basically the instability is provided a little different than the rings. The rings is probably for another day. The trouble with the rings is that both hands are separate. This one has one origin. Okay. So with the TRX hands in plank, a couple ways you can do it. Number one, and this is not a bad way to learn the push-up plank, just learn this position, hold that position, and I think you'll get it in your core if you lock down your pelvis enough. Now, if you don't feel it there, you might just have to lower and lengthen that degree like so. Basically going to move the handles down. I'm almost going to be flat in a regular push-up position. Okay? from here, hold. And as you can see, there's a bit of wobble, but that's because this is instability all of a sudden from the shoulders. Okay, so that's the TRX plank with your hands in there. All right.
Hands-free side plank.
Ah, the hands-free side plank. This is famously known as our vampire nap. What you're going to do, you're probably going to want to have a cushion on the elevation. I'm going to go, this should be the right height. I won't use a cushion for the elevation, but rather for my shoulders. So it's called a vampire nap because it's kind of what it looks like. You're going to basically fold your arms. Okay, this is good actually for somebody that has an elbow or wrist or shoulder issue. You get an alternative to do the side plank. What you're going to do, hold here, squeeze your hips forward just a little high. Lower than this is going to be a little harder because I'm supporting more of my weight, but still, the challenge remains. I have to remain in that straight line. My left glute, my left QL, quadratus lumborum, and obliques are working pretty hard. Okay? And then again, holding that for a fixed time span. All right, I knew that was coming. Now, TRX feet in, okay, basically you have the opposite challenge. So we have the instability provided by the feet. So the lower body / pelvis to the rib cage is going to be challenged from a stability standpoint more. Now, you could also do this in the push-up position, so both hands up. I'm going to do it with my feet, or excuse me, my forearms on the ground and myself a little bit forward so that I have to brace against the TRX, which is going to want to pull me backwards. Okay? So holding here and holding there. Just holding. You'll see the shake like so. All right.
Plank with pike.
Plank with pike. So the plank with pike is a nice one. Probably a precursor to the TRX with a pike or the slide board pike. What you're going to do is basically, and this is a slow / controlled movement, from this position, okay, hips down, hips to the ceiling, almost like a downward dog, then squeeze back down, okay? Make sure not to return back to that position. Hips high, back down to the ground. Like so. Okay? That's the plank with a pike. Alligator walk. Okay. This is with the ab wheel. Let's actually do this. Let's do the ab wheel plank first. So the ab wheel plank I like to show before the alligator plank. What you're going to do, basically, and this is a lot of wrist / elbow stress, so just be careful with those clients with those. What you're going to want to do, though, is basically get set up, get your feet back, before, get one foot back, then the other, find your center, hold that position, okay? It's an ab wheel plank. This is probably a precursor to doing the standing ab wheel, okay? And holding, again, not concerned with how long you hold, but how much you're feeling that in your core. If you're feeling that in your low back, not the point of the movement, okay? And then the next one is just what Amber said. So that's the alligator walk. Kind of a fun, challenging movement, but some people would say no. You're going to get strapped in here. The nice thing about these ab wheels is they have this ability for your feet to go in. People always ask, what is this for? Well, you're about to find out. So you're going to strap yourself in. The red part goes around the, that's interesting. I don't really want to stay, but around the heel. And then here as well. Half the battle, by the way. It's getting strapped in. Okay, so from here, you flip over, get yourself set up. Is that going to stay? Hopefully. Most of the pressure's down anyways. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get myself into a forward plank position on my hands. Okay, and I'm going to walk slowly. Like so. So I would be careful with that one on the distance. It's, again, not really that crazy of an exercise, but you try to go too far too fast, I think you're going to find yourself either skinning your knees or kind of falling forward, and that's not the goal of this exercise. But rather just own that control, side to side motion, try to eliminate that, and yeah, I think you guys will enjoy it. So any questions, Amber? You're good? You going to try them?
Yeah.
All right, good. Covered a lot in not a lot of time, actually. Managed to get most of them in. Any questions? Feel free to shoot them our way, and we'll see you tomorrow for a bunch of exercises you've never done and you probably will wish you didn't.